Hello, my name is Antonella and I just graduated as a yoga teacher from Bliss Om Yoga Studio. I will be sharing a few yoga flows here on my page and I hope you'll all enjoy them. Today I will be doing a Hatha yoga flow. For the description of Hatha yoga, please read the caption below. So let's get started. The first thing I'd like to mention is in yoga we use yogic breath, especially in Hatha yoga. So yoga is all about breath. So I'd like to go over the breathing techniques that we'll be using today, known as yogic breath or ujjayi breath. So inhale deeply through the nostrils and exhale, closing the back of the throat. Exhale from the nose, creating sort of an ocean sound. Now this might take a little bit of practice. You might not get it at first. So we're going to try that. About 5 breaths of ujjayi yogic breathing. Inhaling from the nose for a count of 4. Suspending the breath for a count of 4. Closing the back of the throat and exhaling through the nose, making the ocean sound. For a count of 4. We're going to do 5 breaths at our own pace. Inhaling through the nose, suspending the breath, exhaling, closing the back of the throat, making an ocean sound. Some people also like to refer to it like as a Darth Vader sound. So we'll try that again. Inhaling through the nose, closing the back of the throat, exhaling through the nose, making the ocean wave sound. Okay, so we're going to get started in today's practice. We're going to be starting off today's practice in child pose, taking the knees nice and wide. You can start with resting your head on your fists first. Rest here for about 5 deep breaths. While you're breathing, think about how you feel physically and mentally. And as you start to open up, your sitting bones will sink deeper towards your heels. And throughout this practice, we will be using the yogic breathing ujjayi breath. You can extend your forearms, bringing your forehead to your mat, coming down a little closer to the mat. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose, using your yogic ujjayi breath that we went through at the beginning of the class. Each pose will be holding for about 5 deep breaths. Transitioning to your hands and knees. Elbows are aligned under the shoulders. Spreading your fingers wide apart, knees under the hips. We're going to get the spine moving in all directions. Inhale to prepare and exhale. Draw the navel up to the spine, up towards the ceiling. Drop the head and the tailbone scoop and hollow. Moving with your breath, getting the spine up, tucking the tailbone, arching the back. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Be here for 5 deep breaths. Move with your breath. Coming back to neutral spine. Taking one hand up and reaching it up to the side. Inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to take that arm, do a rotation, a spinal twist, exhale and thread it through, brush it towards your other arm, We're going to do the other side. Inhale the arm up. We're going to take a rotation spinal twist on the other side. Brush that arm through, letting your arms touch. We're going to do a few more at your own breath. Move with your breath. We're going to get the spine moving in all directions, opening up the spine, getting all the fluids circulating, your spinal column. Inhaling arm up, brushing it against the other arm, threading it through. Feel your spine opening. Coming back to a neutral spine. We're now going to squeeze the hips and the shoulders towards each other for a side bend, opening up the side of the spine. Feel this nice stretch through the rib cage, improving the mobility of the spine. Engage your core, squeeze your hips and shoulders together. And breathe. Few more deep breaths here, moving with your breath. From here, we're going to extend opposite limbs. We're going to maintain a straight line from the crown of the head to the tailbone. We're going to test our balance here. Breathe here for 5 deep breaths. Engaging your core muscles, testing your balance, focusing on a drishti point, something in front of you that's not moving to help you with your balance. Back to neutral, tabletop. Now we're going to extend opposite limbs, extending your leg and your arm forward, focusing on that drishti point, testing your balance, connecting to your breath. 5 deep inhales here. Really engaging that core, the abdominal muscles. A few more deep breaths. Back to neutral spine. From here, we're going to tuck the toes, engaging the core muscles to lift the knees off the mat, lifting the hips all the way up, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. Lift your hips as high as you can, keeping a slight bend in the knees, maintaining a straight spine, and breathe. We're going to be here for a few breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Lifting your hips all the way up to the ceiling. Maintain that slight bend in the knee. Lift one leg up for 3-legged dog. Breathe. Bring that leg forward for high lunge. If this is too much, you can always drop the back knee, or you can stay here. Inhaling your arms up. Get your balance. Inhale your arms up, placing your knee down if needed. When you get your balance, placing your left hand on your right knee, we're going to take a spinal twist. You can drop the back knee if needed. Just getting our spine moving in all directions here. 5 deep breaths here. Placing the palms back on the mat, dropping the back knee. Drop the tailbone. Lift the rib cage, lift the head, interlace the fingers behind your head. We're going to start to lift the heart, pressing the elbows wide, feeling the shoulders opening up. A few deep breaths here. Connect to your breath. Bringing the hands back down to the mat. Sending the leg back, transitioning back to downward facing dog. Maintaining a slight bend in the knee, lifting the right leg up now. Three-legged dog. Bringing that leg forward for high lunge. Inhaling the arms up. You can always drop the back knee if needed. We're now going to place our left hand on our right knee and come in for a twist. Dropping the back knee if needed. You can either be in high lunge or low lunge. Wherever you're at in your practice is totally fine. Connecting to your breath, a few deep breaths here. Palms back to the mat, dropping the back knee. Really opening up the hips. Feeling that stretch through the hips. Leaning forward, tucking the tailbone, interlacing the fingers behind the head. Lifting your heart. Feeling that beautiful heart-opening stretch. Shining your heart. Bringing your hands back down to the mat. We're going to come into a squat. So if you have a rolled up towel, a blanket, or a mat, we're going to transition into a squat, a yogic squat. So you can place the rolled up towel or blanket under your heels, bringing your hands to prayer position, lengthening through your spine, trying not to stay too hunched over. Just 5 deep breaths here, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, making your legs active. Remove the towel, the blanket, or the mat. We're now going to transition into a low plank. So your hands, forearms on the mat, keeping the knees on the mat. You can progress by starting to lift one leg at a time. The next level would be to inhale both legs up into plank. And hold here for a few deep breaths, 5 deep breaths. If you feel any discomfort in your lower spine, please lower your knees to the mat or lift one knee at a time. Bringing your knees down to the mat, feet flat. We're going to transition into Sphinx position, pressing down through your palms, shoulders rolled back. Here for 5 deep breaths. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. There's a wonderful back bend here in Sphinx. I'm taking a child's pose. Sitting bones towards your heels, forehead to the mat, or they can be resting on your fists or on a block. Think about how you feel. Taking a few deep breaths here. Tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Breathe. Lifting one leg up for 3-legged dog, swinging that leg to the front, bringing your right knee bent, left knee, place it to the side, lengthen the spine, opening up the hips, lower your body down, as you loosen your body, you'll be able to come down closer to the mat, bringing your forehead to the mat. We're here for 5 deep breaths. Relax into this pose. Breathe deeply using your Ujjayi breath. Breathing here in through our nose, out through our nose. Bringing our palms coming up. Bringing that left leg over and turning around, planting the hands down for downward facing dog, hips up towards the ceiling. Lifting up the other leg, three-legged dog, sending that right knee through, placing it on the mat, placing your other leg out of the way. Notice how it feels on this side. One side might feel different than the other, and that's totally normal. Don't expect two sides of your body to feel the same. You might not be totally centered. You might be off to the side on your forearms, or you might need a block. Wherever you're at in your practice is totally fine. Just breathe. As you breathe, you'll open your body a little bit more, and you can get deeper and deeper into this position. It's a great hip opening stretch. Slowly coming back up. We're now going to transition into boat pose, Navasana. Soles of the feet to the mat. Inhale. As you exhale to start, lean back. The tips of the toes on the mat forming a V shape. Use your abdominal muscles. Lift your feet. Your hands come to the side. We're here for 5 deep breaths, engaging your core muscles. Lowering the feet to the mat. We're now going to come into our final pose. So we're going to have 2 options here, either Shavasana, lying on your mat, legs extended forward. You can stay here in Shavasana, breathing, melting into your mat, noticing how you feel. Or you can come into the legs against the wall, an extremely restorative pose, bringing the hips as close to the wall as possible, swinging the legs up, flexing the feet, straight legs. This is a very restorative pose, very relaxing pose. If your legs aren't straight against the wall, it's okay. Just honor your practice. Stretching your arms out to the side, or you can have them in cactus. If you want to go a little further, you can hold behind the thigh and stretch the leg a little closer towards your body. I'm going to leave you here. Take long, slow, deep breaths. Give your body and mind a chance to notice any changes in today's practice. It was my pleasure to guide you through today's Hatha flow. Until next time, namaste.